Well, hey everybody, Pastor Warren here. Hope you're enjoying the beautiful scenery of a nice calm river here. It's the Fox River that I'm standing over here in Dundee, Illinois. It's not East Dundee, it's not West Dundee because I'm right in the middle of the river. So this river thankfully has a nice bridge on it that was rebuilt in 1987 for us to enjoy, as we can see a beautiful view of the river. But as I was standing out here today, I was reminded of how Joshua brought the people of God over the Jordan River to cross into the Promised Land, all that you've been reading about this week. And so Joshua was given every assurance by God that he was with him. He said, "Be strong and courageous, be very strong, for the Lord your God is with you." And certainly those words had to echo in Joshua's mind and put into practice right away as he was to cross the River Jordan to get the people into the Promised Land. Now, the Fox River here is fairly wide. It's not at its widest point in its expanse. Certainly farther down the river as it crosses I-90, it is much wider. But if I were to be given the task to cross this river without a bridge, I would wonder how in the world I'm going to do it, let alone have a few 100,000 people behind me following me, ready and willing to follow me to cross the river to go into a new land. So how would this take place? Well, God told Joshua to have the Levitical priests bring the Ark of the Covenant to the very tip of the River Jordan waters, and that when the priests would dip their toes into the water with that Ark of the Covenant, the waters began to recede back. Now, the people of Israel had to be about a half a mile back. That was 2,000 cubits that they had to remain back away from the Ark of the Covenant, because you can't approach God's presence too closely. So once the priests dipped their feet in the waters divided, and the people crossed. And the Levitical priests stayed in the middle of the waters of the Jordan River until all people had crossed. And God told Joshua, you know what, have one person of every 12 tribes of Israel pick up a stone where the Levitical priests are standing in that River Jordan, and take a stone and bring it to the other side, and use that in each of your tribes to tell of the great wonders that God has done for his people. Remembering this event, the stones were used to remember. Well, Joshua must have thought that was a great idea, because he then assembled 12 more stones right there in the middle of the river. And it brought up a pile of stones that erected in memorial of what God had done for his people in crossing the River Jordan. And as you read the book of Joshua, it says that those stones remained there even to that day of the writing of Joshua, as a memorial, as a reminder of what God has done for them. Well, they crossed the River Jordan, and Joshua has a moment much in the same way as Moses did with the burning bush, but it wasn't a burning bush. Just as Joshua was ready to lead his people into the land of Jericho with a mighty people, this was a big task for him again, even after crossing the River Jordan. There was a man off in the distance, and Joshua said, "Are you for us or against us?" And the man said, "No, neither." And the man said, "Take your shoes off, for the ground that you're standing on is holy ground." He says, "I'm the commander of the army of the Lord." Now, because the commander of the army of the Lord told Joshua to take his shoes off and said, "The land that you're standing on is holy ground," this is God himself. This is Yahweh appearing again. It's a theophany of God appearing as a man, not incarnate Jesus, but the Son of God himself appearing before Joshua to give him assurance, confidence of knowing that he continues to go before him and to fight the battle ahead of the people of Jericho. Isn't that great, even in our battles and challenges of our life, to know that God, Jesus, the Son of God, goes before us as the commander of the army of the Lord to fight the battles for us, because the battle belongs to the Lord, friends. We think that our earthly battles are ours, but it is God himself who fights on our behalf. So remember that, as Joshua remembered by building stones of God's great providence. Remember in your life how he's been great for you and led you and gone ahead of you in your life. Well, may God bless you and keep you this day, and I hope someday you can come out to Dundee and enjoy a nice scenic day on the river. Have a blessed day.